I'm a, okay. I'm an experimental physicist, and I do experiments both on basic physics, what is nature made of, and applied. How do the ordinary things that we use work, and in product development. And in these many years that I've been doing this, I've developed 4 principles, which are principles of science, and can be applied to the much larger principles of life. Okay, these 4 principles are: 1, look for new ideas, and encourage new ideas, and be prepared for bad ideas. That's number 1. Number 2, prepare to experiment. That may be, you may have to build an apparatus, you may have to get a product and get it out in the market, and so forth. I'm going to go through these in more detail. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3 is most important. You need an honest evaluation of what you accomplished. No wishful thinking, no hoping against hope. And finally is what I call the art of obsession in science. Now, let me go through these. Number 1, new ideas. I had some very good ideas, one which led to this discovery of this new lepton, and I've had some bad ideas, things which nature didn't agree with. But you don't always know, and that's what leads to experimenting. And experimenting means you build something, an apparatus, and you try it. Or, in our case, it could go very broad, and it had to do with a product. I've worked quite a bit in small drop technology, similar to inkjet printers. And a few years, and we have a patent in which we could build an inkjet printer which could take all sorts of fluids, from inks to DNA, all sorts of things. And we thought this must be a wonderful product. Now, I think many of you know that, in fact, inkjet printers go the other way. The ink is tuned exactly to the design of the printer and reverse, and that's the art of it. And in fact, that is a successful market, and our market for a very universal printer is not successful. And that was only found out by going into the market. Now, what happens is you get things out there, and now you have to make a judgment. Did this experiment work? Did this product survive? And there's a tremendous desire to hope against hope, a tremendous desire for wishful thinking. And that's what leads to what I call the art of obsession in all this new work. When you're working on something new, you should be obsessed with it. When you wake up in the night, you should not think about your boyfriend or your husband or your children or your grandchildren. You should think about what you're working on. And that obsession in all these new things is very important. But there may come a day when the bad news arrives. The bad news may be that, my God, this experiment idea actually violates general relativity. You thought you had a great idea, but there's a subtle violation. And the colleague you hate the most discovered it. Okay. Or you may find out that you got your product out, but darn it, a competitor has gotten it out faster, cheaper, and better. Then the thing to do, you have to drop the obsession. You have to just give it up, not hope you can draw it out, not hope you can work it around. And the reason for that is, particularly in the sciences, the young people who are coming ahead of us will know as much as we do, they will be as smart as we do, but they will have better tools because they can continually build on us. If you've had a good idea, it will come out. It will be produced in the future. If it's not, it's as well dropped. Okay. Now, how do you apply this to the larger things in life. The question of peace, oops, not so bad. The question of, I'm quick. The question of trying to get peace. The question of what to do about hunger. The question of what to do about energy. In all these things, within the extent that the political realm allows, and the economic realm, you must regard it as an experiment. You must try some things, but always with the caution that they may not work. You must evaluate them as they go. It's no sense, for example, saying everybody is peace-loving and just wants to raise their children. That's not something you can try and do an experiment on. You have to be specific. And in energy, it's the same way. There are the follies which go on, for example, the ethanol folly in the United States. Well, that's a political obsession. Everybody knows it's pointless, but it's an obsession that you just cannot beat at present. Okay, but then the discussions which go on in general energy. Should you go to nuclear energy? Should you go to, as my colleague talked about, energy from the sun? You really cannot forecast the future. You have to somehow set up policies that try both, that are cautious about how much you subsidize and see what comes out. That has to be the experiment. Now, of course, physics is the simplest field, although everyone says, oh God, physics. Chemistry is almost as easy. Medicine is difficult, but the most difficult fields are psychology, sociology, economics, and social science. And those have a long way to go. And what they need, but I don't know how to do it, is to put in more of what we have in physics. Thank you.